What does leadership look like under fire? Is it about fear or is it about control? And what's more important, controlling the situation or controlling the narrative? This is Quote Line. And after shots rang out at the White House Correspondents Dinner, the focus is no longer just on the violence or why the security breach happened. It's on how the president is choosing to tell the story. In an interview to 60 Minutes on CBS, Donald Trump has laid out his version of events, and the line is about control, resilience, and confrontation.
I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world.
That is the line Donald Trump leads with. It's interesting because it's not so much framing the incident as a moment of fear, but as something expected. I want to see your comments on that one. But what President Trump is clearly doing in this interview is reframing how he wants this moment to be understood. Watch this part now, when Trump says he initially resisted being moved, when he chose to observe rather than to react.
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one.
See that? Trump is positioning himself not as a passive target, but as an active decision maker. I wanted to see. I wasn't making it easy. It's about how he thinks he was controlling the situation. Eventually, security steps in and the situation escalates.
I was standing up, pretty much. I was standing up and then turned around the opposite direction and started pretty much walking out, pretty tall, a little bent over because I'm not looking to be standing too tall. And but I was walking out. It was about halfway there, and they said, "Please go down to the floor. Please go down to the floor." So I dropped to the floor. So did the First Lady.
Same thing. The emphasis is on movement, decision, control, more than compliance or obeying orders. And when reflecting on the moment, Trump leans on his unique experience. That's what he wants to highlight, not fear.
Well, my thought was, I've been through this before a couple of times, and she has not, to this extent. She handled it great. I mean, she's very strong, smart. She got it. She knew what was happening.
So Trump is talking about vulnerability, but it's vulnerability in others, not himself. Plus, he is very keen to reinforce confidence in the system around him, in the security forces and their response.
When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing because as soon as they saw that, you could see them draw their guns. They were so professional, aim their guns, and then they took them down immediately.
We know a large part of the reporting on the attack has focused on the security lapses, how the armed attacker got that far and so on. But that's clearly not something Trump wanted to highlight. Watch this.
Other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had two attempted...
Well, he was pretty incompetent, too, because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent, too. I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault, no matter what. I can take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job.
But his tone just a few moments before that was nowhere near as generous and complimentary. And that was when the interviewer asked him about the attacker's motives.
I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me.
Trump challenges the content, yes, But he really goes after the framing. So it becomes about the interviewer's choice to bring it up, about the disgraceful media daring to address this point. And of course, this moment went viral.
You're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
She is not intimidated, is she? Drop a comment on how you think the interview was handled, because Trump really did not let it go.
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
How does Trump take it forward? Well, he wants the dinner rescheduled, so clearly he wants the message out. He's not scared.
I don't want to have a crazy person. I think it's really bad for a crazy person to be able to cancel something like this.
And there's one bit where he actually hails the aftermath of the shooting as a beautiful moment of unity.
I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was, in one way, very beautiful.
I have to say, it honestly was a rare occasion when both the US president and the whole of the US press were on the same side. But this does two things. It positions Trump as a defender of civic continuity, and it shifts blame away from institutions towards one isolated extremist. So very little focus from the president on things like political violence, gun control, public security, and praise, on the other hand, for the Secret Service's swift response, an attack on the media for bringing up Cole Allen's alleged motives, and the insistence that the event will soon be rescheduled as fast as possible. So back to normal as quickly as possible, please. Nothing to see here. Trump is choosing to protect the broader political order while signaling that the system cannot be intimidated, no matter what flaws may have been exposed in that system. And he's doing it through this interview. At every stage, Trump is avoiding the language of vulnerability. Instead, he's replacing it with awareness, experience, authority. When challenged, his response is not to engage with the premise, but to reject it entirely. And that shift is critical, because that is what transforms the interview from a discussion of violence into an interpretation. Ask yourself, why would the US president not want a deeper discussion on political violence, on its causes, its escalation, its consequences?